farming estate. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about the two major different types of housing birds, which is the battery cage system and the deep litter system. So if you want to listen to this video and hear what we got to offer, stay tuned to the video. So, welcome back. Like I said, we are going to be talking about the two major aspects of housing birds, which is the battery cage system and the deep litter system. Now, let me tell you the two differences between these two. You should make the choice yourself. What that difference is, why one is better than the other, and in another way another is better than the other. Now, if it comes to productivity, birds on the deep litter system tend to produce more than birds on the battery cage system. Now, the reason is that in a deep litter system, the birds are happier because it's more or less like they are more free than being in the battery cage system. Because in the battery cage system, the birds tend to have a limited area of movement. They are limited to everything, everything at all. They are limited to it. They are just fixed there, just for production. And a lot of people use battery cage system mostly for layers. But if you watch, the difference between the only benefit it brings, in my own opinion, is that the eggs are neater. When they lay their eggs, it's more neater than when it's in a battery in a deep litter system. Now, in a deep litter system, the produce is more. Whether it's a broiler or turkeys or whatever type of bird or layer bird you are keeping on the farm, and it's a deep litter system, it tends to produce more than the one in the battery cage system. Now, when they are in the deep litter system, they have that a lot of kind of freedom. You can imagine a bird moving from this spot. If you want to try it, you can try it out. When you mark a particular bird, watch it. It will move from this spot of the farm, the beginning of this end of the farm, to the next end of the farm, and fro. And they keep moving around and having the feel of freedom around the environment. They just have that kind of rest of mind. They are so happy. They are so adapted to the area. They are so engaged, and so everything about that pen is okay for them. But if you look at the battery cage system, you will discover that they are limited and they don't tend to be happy. They don't tend to be happy. If you look at them, they are just kind of limited in everything they do, and so that's the first point. And then the second point, the deep litter system. In this point, the deep litter system, in my own opinion, is better than the battery cage system. Now, the reason is that in the battery cage system, what is being used is the wire mesh. Now, in a deep litter system, the bedding is, they mostly use sawdust or wood shavings for the bedding, which makes the pen even more enjoyable for the birds. But you see, like in the battery cage system, they are being limited and their legs kind of hot. Their legs hot because you can imagine, as a human being, you can imagine for your own self walking on wire, on a wire mesh, or lying down on a wire mesh. You can imagine you never get to enjoy that feeling. But when you are walking on the base, even you will feel better walking on the bare floor than walking on a wire mesh. Now, this is same for animals, same for the birds. A bird in a wire mesh, that is caged in a wire mesh, which is called battery cage system, doesn't produce much as a bird that is on a deep litter system, because their legs hot, they kind of feel hot, well, how will I put it? They kind of feel unhappy due to the fact that their legs hot and they have limited space to move around and stuff like that. But you see, in the deep litter system, that is not the case. Their legs, they enjoy their walk all through. They can walk all through the pen, and they just enjoy the feel of the environment. That's number two. Number three, point number three. The reason why I need to consider in this point, you should be, what we need to consider is the battery cage over the deep litter system. Now, in the battery cage, the pen is easier to clean than in the deep litter. In the deep litter, you have to bend down, make a lot of stress. That's if you are not in a modernized farming, which doesn't really exist in Nigeria that much. Everybody with deep litter cleans it manually. So when you are cleaning it manually in a deep litter, it's more stress than cleaning on a battery. Because in a battery cage, the droppings of the chickens just go directly to a particular spot, which is created drafted on the plan of the farm. There's a deep, what do you call it? There's a deep hole or something like that that's been made that their droppings go into, and when their droppings get into there, it's better to clean than to clean an entire, farm. And in the battery cage system, everything is much kind of like automated, except for the fact that you have to feed them manually. Although there are modernized systems nowadays where feed is automatic and everything, but I won't advise you to go for that. I would advise you, if you are anybody going into battery cage system, should use manually feed. They should be feeding them manually every morning, and depending on the time you fix for their feed, you should feed them manually. So for this point, I think I will give it for the battery cage. That is easier to clean. And also, that's the next point, is also going for battery cage, because in a battery cage system, the rate of disease spread is very, very low. Before a disease can move from one bird to the next bird, is so much flow, because the birds don't get to be in contact with their feces, with their droppings. They don't get to share their drinking water in a particular bowl. Every of the cage, every of the divisions of the cage has its own nipple drinkers, which is used for battery cage. So the spread of diseases is very, 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 very low. But if you compare it to the deep litter, the spread of diseases is much higher. Now, for example, like coccidiosis. When coccidiosis is spread through the feces of the animals, of the birds. Now, when coccidiosis is spreading, it spreads in a way that the birds tend to peck on the feces, and they tend to be playing around with their droppings and stuff like that, and that is how coccidiosis spread. But when it comes to the battery cage system, coccidiosis don't spread that much. It doesn't even it's hard to find coccidiosis there, except for some cases that were not handled properly. But a battery cage system saves you more time, saves you more sickness spread. That's spreading of disease. It saves you from disease spread in battery cage system. Now, for deep litter system, there's a more produce in deep litter system than battery cage. I said it earlier, deep litter system, the birds are comfortable and they tend to make enough produce more than battery cage system. So, well, that's it. What other one? Well, that's it for this video. And if there are more points I will come up with, I will still let you know. But there are definitely more reasons why deep litter system is better than battery cage. So, if you like this video, you are benefited from this video, make sure you like it, make sure you subscribe, click the subscribe bell and keep the notification bell so that you get notified whenever I come up with new videos. As you all know, for those guys who are following my videos for some time now, you know my videos are inspiring and my videos are blessing to you guys. So let's take farming to the next step around the city of Kano State, Nigeria. So like the video, subscribe, and that's pretty much it. See you on our next video. Thanks for watching.